Has our children become softer as our generation continues to grow? Have we tolerated entitlement, lack of respect, or discipline in our system to a point that our children are, you know, are sort of thrown off when we use the word discipline or where we hold them to a higher moral standard? Welcome if you're new to our community here in the Women's School, where I break down practical life application of how to really flourish as women through formation and training, both mindset and skill set, so that we can become bearers of truth, beauty, and goodness in our culture. If this is something that you as a mom are struggling with of how to manage discipline in your own home, I think this will give us some kind of comfort, and not necessarily because he's Matthew McConaughey, but that I think comfort in knowing that we kind of need to restore values and virtues and draw firm boundaries with our children. And I know that because I am in the midst of raising children, and it is a battle to try to get our children to see that discipline and entitlement and gratitude are first and foremost primary in our own home. And you have to contend with a culture that doesn't actually believe in boundaries and that you can be your own God and your truth and whatever you want goes. And so I think that there should be a return to some level of normalcy in our culture. So let's listen to Matthew McConaughey.
Got in trouble for.
He got
I
in
can't,
trouble for.
I hate, and lying.
I can't, I hate, and lying. So those are all three illegal words in my own house. Lying being one that really gets to me. I can't is what gets to Ryan. So
If I said I can't, my dad's teeth would just start to go, excuse me?
and I love that there's sort of this comfort that a way a father raises children, there's strength, that there's fear, a healthy sense of fear, that we can also then learn to develop fear of God. And right now, the idea of you putting the fear of God in your children is something that should be, we should be afraid of. We should make sure that our children are not afraid of us. Well, our children are not afraid of authority in our culture today. We have to go back to some kind of normalcy where, the look of the eye, the grinding of the teeth. Our children need discipline. They're suffering because there's lack of it.
Sure you're not just having trouble? I remember this one time I was going out to do my chores Saturday morning to mow the lawn, and I couldn't get the damn lawnmower done.
First of all, work, chores, gives our children evidence of their value. Why? Because they see that they are contributing individuals in our home. And because we don't live in a farm like we used to, they don't see that their contribution matters. When we do things for our children, then they see that they have nothing valuable to contribute. Our home, therefore, then translates to our society. Our kids need work and hard work. In my own home, when they get in trouble, I'm like, you just need more work, just to recalibrate your expectation. And so I give them more work. I'm like, when you can't adhere to sort of basic standard, you just need to get back to physical labor, which is what we do in my house.
Start. Checked everything, couldn't get it started. I'm going inside. I said, Dad, can you help me out? I can't get the lawnmower started. And he turned around. I saw his molars and went. And he got up, walked with me through the kitchen, through the garage, out the backyard, went to the lawnmower, messed around, pulled a couple things out, After about 10 minutes, boom, cranked it. And while the lawnmower was running right there, he came over to me and bent down and looked me in the eye. He goes, see, son? You were just having trouble. I said,
I love that he then reshaped the language of his son. You were just having trouble. It's not that he couldn't. And that there was an awareness that it was challenging, but that also that he could figure it out. And I think that often in my own, motherly life, I have to say, can I let my son figure this out? And Ryan as well, only because we're, there's always a lot going on. But if they can figure it out on their own, let them. If it's harder for them and they have to pick up that, they have to chop off this wood, let them. And it's giving them a sense of burden that is healthy for their competency, for their confidence, for their ability to do something that gives them evidence that they can do hard things.
I hate you to my brother because I heard the word at school and I thought.
Hate is illegal in my house. Why? Because it's hurtful. And there's other words that you can use that is not quite as hurtful because it is something that we don't realize, our siblings realize, that could be really damaging. In therapy, sibling conflict is often what's being talked about a lot because we kind of have our guard down to our siblings. So, I'm not really happy. You hurt me. We use the word hate appropriately, right? When it's really accurate, it's really bad.
It could make me feel like I was older. I thought it was like a teenage soap opera thing, and I was only 9. So I threw it out there one day at my own birthday party. I said to her, I hate you. And my mom, stopped the entire party. 40 kids.
Okay, so highlight that. Stop the birthday party. Not worried about what people think. Creating a standard. Not worrying about it. Now, I don't know the whole circumstance. We don't want to embarrass our children. But you know what? This is not okay. Sometimes my children kind of, gets upset. It's like, Mom, you raised your voice. There were other people here. I said, sometimes that's appropriate. I'm not going to try to embarrass you, but that's life. It's that we don't want to sort of tiptoe. It's like, no, that was wrong. And that's okay for our children to also receive some form of correction. We're not berating them, but we don't do that. Please don't say that again in front of their friends. And I think that it creates a standard, and we're so afraid to correct our children in front of other kids. It's like, no, that's a standard. You don't make fun of other people in front of other people, period. And we should be able to say that. We should say, no, thank you. Even in front of their friends. And I do it. And my children know that I do it. I'm not always, sometimes I do it well. Sometimes I don't do it as well. But the truth is that, if we're trying to sort of if we're trying to create a standard in our own communities where, this is right and this is wrong, and that's okay for you to be corrected, then it just becomes the norm.
It's my age in the backyard. Stopped it. My birthday.
I love it that he remembers this. And our mind actually goes to negative memories as opposed to positive because our brains are made for survival. So we cling to those things that are challenging and we remember them because then says we won't do it again. So this is what he's remembering are the things that are challenging because it says, oh, that's danger, which is a good thing.
Stopped it. Pulled me around the side of the house and he said, what did you say? You don't ever use that word, especially to someone in your family. Gave me licks on the side of the house. And then went around. She said, dry your tears, resume.
Dry your tears and resume. We don't have to sometimes belabor the tears. I'm really trying to find that balance of I want to be empathetic to my children, but honey, you've got 3 minutes and that's okay. Dry your tears. We got this. You're stronger than that. That has to come from our own interior strength as mothers to then model that and say, I know this hurts and I want to be there for you, but I also want you to be strong. And this is micro compared to what it is. Because sometimes we think, well, this is so big for them. Yes, it is big for them. Their paper got crushed. Empathy, but then perception. Empathy and the perception, because then they'll also grow. It's like, no, we make their feelings such a big deal, how are they ever going to learn to grow in perception? Now, you obviously have to discern that because it's different every situation, but we don't also want to just play the victim and allow them to become a victim of every situation. It's like, no, we do have to dry our tears and we have to keep going. And that's how we used to remember our grandmothers were. And we need to have some kind of going back to that, not to a point where we suppress how we feel. That's not my suggestion. But enough to say, you know what? We're a lot stronger than that.
The party's back on. Don't ever use that word, especially to someone in your family. Or when we'd lie, Dad he couldn't stand lying. If you lied.
I cannot stand lying. It's the foundation of every relationship. It's the foundation of your contribution to humanity. It's the foundation of your relationship with God. If you can lie, then you can lie to yourself. If you lie to yourself, you will not be happy. Lying in micro things becomes then big if it's left not taken care of. And so lying to me really, really irks me. I'm like, it is the one thing, and my children know, that puts me over the edge.
To him, there was something about being a young man, and I got 2 older brothers, having the steam and the courage to go tell the damn truth no matter what, especially to your dad and to your mom. We'd have hugged and we was like, hey, cut that shit out. But it would have been that. So what did I learn from don't say can't? That if you're unable to do something, you can, even if you can't pull it off, you can go find help. which means you were just having trouble. What did I learn from getting a butt whooping for saying I hate you to my brother? Well, what I was learning is the antonyms to those words. Because saying I can't, lying, and saying I hate you were bringing me pain. So the opposite must bring pleasure, right? Tell the truth, love, and believe that you can. Those were the values, how I remember them getting instilled in me. And to this day, I still have them.
This used to be the standard in our culture, especially in America, honesty. And because we've taken God out of our equation in our society, there's no moral authority, then lying is no longer a moral a standard. What we need to do is to restore lying in those white lies as a non-negotiable standard in our own homes, in our communities, and bring it out, address it when somebody's not truthful about these little micro things. And I love that he is adamant about being careful about the language that we use. And we often do that in the women's school, that words become flesh, and we have to be vigilant in the words that we use because they have massive influence. And it starts with our own home. So we need to be vigilant. And I can't, meaning that your potential has everything to do with what you can say, how can I? It's the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Now, receptivity, which is a strength of a woman, has everything to do with the openness of I can, how can I? That resourcefulness, that openness that allows us then to fulfill what God is asking of us. So I bring this out because we need to restore a revival of femininity, of formation, of faith, of interior freedom, of family life in our culture. And we as women are nurturers of truth, beauty, and goodness. So we have to be vigilant and a student of our culture, but for the sole purpose of creating value to our environment and to make sure that we then elevate the standard in those micro things. If you think that this is sort of a struggle for you in your own home, just pick one thing and just say, I'm going to start with language. I'm going to start how to do this, because I think that if they don't learn these foundational skills in our own home, then we're in trouble. So I hope this serves you. Bring on any new friends, any communities to this Women's School free community. It's free training. If you want to go deeper, come join our New Woman Masterclass where you have accountability in a community. If you feel like you want to mentor other women, we need formators, aka mothers, because that's what we are. We're called spiritual mothers, so that you can lead other women. If you have any questions and comments, please write them out below. I try to read as much as I can in my, time to be able to really serve you. And if you have any other questions that you also want me to address in this training free community, send them my way, and I'd love to be able to serve you in the best way that I can. Till then, God bless you all.